Part 3. So what if Deku was raised by wolves? So we pretty much left off with your boy Deku, grabbing the hood figured, you know. Basically, this person is replacing Deku in the sense of being the successor for One for All. Don't worry, I'm gonna make room for this character. I digress. All right, so basically, this is how it's gonna go. He takes the hooded figure. He's like, "All right, you're gonna need to get a backbone or whatever the case may." Wait a minute. He bucks at the person, realizing that they're all shy and timid. How long have you worn that hoodie? Well, when I was younger, my my parents told me to keep this on because I might hurt someone or something. But Deku realized that this hoodie had like weird traces of like magic and restraints almost. And he was like, take the hoodie off. What? No, I couldn't do that. Deku cocks his hand back, reminiscent to how like Bakugo does. Claw, shatter, and like a mass gust of wind, but like, yeah, something like that. Come through and shit, right, fool? And so what ended up happening, right? So basically, what ended up happening is, simply put, Deku just basically simply just cut off man's hoodie. The second he did that, this dude bulked up a little bit. Like he cracked his neck, started stretching a little bit. And then like he just like kind of took a weird stance, and it was like release. And he just screamed and excreted mad aura, mad power, and just finally. It's basically like he'd been kind of imprisoned in his own body for like one too many years, my boy. He's like, oh. He immediately got control over, himself. Immediately after the fact of, letting out a little bit of a temperature change. You feel me? So I was like, Deku was like, all right, what's your quirk, my boy? And he was like, well, simple, energy manipulation. He was like, interesting. I think I do know somebody at UA that, yeah. What was her name? Her name's slipping my mind, but I did help her take down a villain one day. That shit was very interesting. I think it was her first year at UA. Yeah. That was a pretty good fight. I could have did it by myself, but I just got done doing some training that day. So I was still trying to acclimate myself to everything, So anyways, who'd be like, so what do I call you? Because just calling you hoodie guy would be kind of funny. It wouldn't really. He was like, for the time being, you can call me P Summary or PS. You didn't give me a name, buddy. I'm just gonna go with your YouTube name because he's the person that put something down in the comments, so he will be the person that's been placed into thy story. And with this being said, as you know, P Summary is basically just readjusting, and his dreads are fully, about to his shoulder, and he's black. He's cracking his neck and shit. And he's like, ooh. He's starting punching and shit. He's like, damn, I like this. And he's like, so what are we gonna do? You kind of brought me out here. It's a kind of fuzzy for what, mostly everything that's happened over these years. It's like he knew, but it was like kind of like seeing it in like second person. But I digress. So Deku's like, simply put, my boy. Deku takes a stance. P Summary. He's like, wait, what you trying to get into? I'm training you. That's what I did say I would do. All Might want to say, what would a person do without a quirk? Which I guess you lost so much confidence. You believed you didn't have a quirk. Once again, I don't remember. All right, whatever. And I'm gonna make it, since you said energy manipulation, I'm gonna basically make it like it's key, like from Dragon Ball Z on some shit. All right. Anyway, so basically they would proceed to train, and then Deku would realize that his quirk allows him to enhance his capabilities, and realizes very fastly that this quirk has a lot of applications. Okay, like it's able to do a lot of things. So he's like, no, for these 10 months that we're training for, I want you to, concentrate on, your key, and not your key. I want you to concentrate on not using your quirk at all. So they would proceed to train. But Deku realized something real quick, right? They were throwing good hands. Beat, 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 wee. Subpar hands. Deku was really just kind of low-key beating a homie G, right? But the main thing, Deku realized that this dude's very flexible. And like I can't say the word, but basically, like, you know how gymnastic motherfuckers? Yeah. He was like, damn, this nigga moving right. And so like the fighting style that he was using was like a hybrid of a hybrid of self-taught and like this weird like kick primary. He'll do like a lot of like acrobatic kind of like flips and stuff, and then just go for like these outlandishly weird kicks and stuff like that. So his fighting style was very unique, but it wasn't really too refined, if you know what I mean. There was a lot of openings. It was pretty sloppy, shit like that, right? And so with that being said, it was literally, Deku was like, yeah, we're gonna have to fix this one time for the two. Deku hears something off in the distance. An explosion. Wait, what's that smell? It's him. Wait, but I thought... And then Deku has a flashback back to when Hoodied originally got onto the All-Might, and then the Sludge Villain incident's about to play in, like, as usual. Yeah. So with this being said, Deku grabs Homie G. It's like, he technically can fly, but wait, you got the quirk. And then tosses him. And then boom, and just leaps off. Boom, dumb far. At some pretty solid speeds, low key. And then so as like Deku's just kind of like in the air with Homie, like with his arms crossed. So like, we'll be there in a moment. He had to use a little effort, but it's like nothing too crazy. And so, P. Summary, he's like, hey, how am I gonna get down? He's like, you have a energy manipulation quirk. You told me not to use my quirk. Damn, I forgot you did not change your physicalities. Don't worry about it, homie. And then, so I guess Deku would just kind of be like, bro, I got you. So when they make it there, eventually, they'll like just stop and plop down. And then they'll see the Sludge Villain, and then seeing everyone not doing nothing, and he's like, Deku's about to like go down there. He's like, wait. I've been dying to do this. Wait. Is there a person down there? And then Deku would like, wait. Yes, there is. It's Bakugo. They both light up with joy and envy. They're like, it's like they both get like this like sinister look on their faces, okay? Because they're like, we know how we're gonna fuck with him, because P. Summary remembers how Bakugo did him and shit, right? So he's like, I remember. So what they about to do is they about to do some EV ass shit, right? So P. Summary and Deku run in with this shit, right? They Deku Rapture just goes in. Bakugo saved, right? And then with this, he's like, explosions. I think it'd probably be like called like Kachan or something, because it's got to be something reminiscent to what what's that nigga's name? What Bakugo do and shit, right? So what would happen, right, is when Deku did Rupture, he did it in such a way that it like arced the explosion, or like not explosion, it arcs all the flames. Because if I don't remember which direction it is, or left or right, but one produces more cold air than the other one. So with that being said, he does that and then he extends it outwards, right? And then most of the flames are gone. The sludge villain is, kind of on the ground, but he's getting levitated upwards. And then Homie G, basically it's a ki blast, but he did it in such a way that it made an explosion, but he made the explosion massive. And then the sludge villain got smithered to smithereens. Even though realistically, I don't think the sludge villain will want to get away, but this is the justification. Sludge villain will be like, "What? It's you again? Wait, who is this? No, no." And then they're both just towering over it. They just look like dummy OP. Because like this Deku's got like a black kind of like coat on with like a black fit on with a, boots. It's like a wolf fur on some shit, And you could tell that it has like wolf leather, wolf kind of like design in it. And he also has a scar on like his right eye right here. So he's always like this and shit. Kind of like how it looks in the thumbnail and shit, right? That's how your boy looking. So they just looking like Deku's post up while P Summary's like kind of down with his dress just hanging, just like easy. And then they're like, and then Deku makes a slide comments like, it might be useful after all. And so what ended up happening, right, is after that, they both just look at Bakugo. They don't say nothing, bro. They just look at Bakugo so smug, like, And P Summary's like, because Deku told him again what happened, and he was just kind of like, I guess killing myself might have been the best decision, because if I didn't, you would be dead. Even though Deku and P Summary literally mentally was like, damn, if I didn't even do that, it wouldn't be a problem. But it's Bakugo's problem. So they basically head out instead of trying to go home. And All Might would follow, obviously. And then they would proceed to train. I think All Might would kind of be a little weary of Deku in this timeline. Because he was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Right? So we would say, this is where the not the USJ, but the training arc, the 10 months training arc takes place, right? So good hands, boom, boom, boom. Deku's just not dogging on mans because of his quirk. It does enhance him naturally without him inherently having to. Without him inherently having to do anything. But on the same end of the coin, it would be more on like the... Oh, my Xbox just said I'm out. But it would be more on the line of Deku's been training for years and homie's naturally strong, but like he hasn't been working on it. Now, if he had his quirk and he was working on it for years, maybe, but no. So Deku should beat up on him. Beat. Nigga does a P Summary, does a flip kick. Deku just catches. Sends that nigga down into the sand sobbing. And then P Summer gets back up. He's like, I'm that guy. Simply put, I'm that guy. And he's like, no, you're not. Deku just starts beating on this nigga. And then just sends him off with it like a kick into like some like junk behind them or something. And you're like, you're not. Not yet. Peace, Harry. Nodding, but losing conscious. He's like, oh no, none of that. And Deku just looking down, menacing. You can't die. Not yet. And then so what basically happened, right, fool, is after that, P Summer's like, stretching a little bit, and he's like, okay, what now? All of this, huh? Not all of it, but just some. We'll get some each day. What do you mean we'll get some? Dog, I could literally destroy all of this in 2 seconds and then literally put it in a tiny ass bag. He pulls out a grocery bag. I'm not expecting you to do this. So that's why I said you will get some each day. Like, what have you got? Oh, I swam to cross over there. and then took care of the junk on that island. What are you talking about? There is no junk on the island. Do you not remember what it looked like when we first got here? Him? I told you my memories are... He had like a memory of like that island. Just it was like literally it was just junk. It didn't even look like an island. He was like, when did you clear that out? When did you? Oh, I cleared some of it yesterday, some of the day prior. They're about like a month or so in, and he's like, that would have. How did you know there was an island? I didn't. He starts lifting. He was complaining at first, but then his mood changed when he realized that this dude Deku was a demon. So he was like, "All right, word for real. All right, big bro, I got you, dog." Like, niggas struggling though. Don't get it wrong. I don't know how they cleaned the beach per se. I don't really remember, but his main thing was just physically, physically trying to enhance your body and shit, right? And we would say, maybe like 2 or 3 months pass by, and then their training's ramping up a little bit, and then Peace Summary is basically just he's keeping up with Deku a lot more. So beep beep boom, Deku's just beep beep, and this is like these quality good hands being thrown. And you can see that certain of it, like his flips, certain parts of like his kicks, because he's doing a lot of like acrobatic types of moves, but you can see they becoming a lot more short, a lot more fluent, a lot more precise, a lot more crispy. You know what I'm saying? So like you seeing like the progress as it's happening. So his combos becoming a lot shorter and a lot tighter. Just bing bing bing. Nigga's just like, there you go. You're showing some improvement. And he's like, he fucked up, bro. Peace Summary, why you do it? You fucked up, my nigga. This nigga said, hey, bro, at this rate, I might be stronger than you. If it was anime, bro, you'd literally just like, everything would go dark and you would just see like a glow of red. And then you would just see his smile, but it would look more like wolf-like. It just... I've been dying to hear that. You're charismatic. Hell, even persuasive when we went out and talked to people. And with that way you carry yourself, combined with your quirk, I'm pretty sure you may be even feared. But the one thing you are not, as a mass amount of like killing intent and like evil shit, bro, dead ass fool, comes out. And he's like, the one thing you're not though is stronger than me. Whole bunch of power. Peace Summary's like, oh no. And then like out of like this cloud of like what it like appears to be like despair and hatred, he like gets grabbed by his face. I'll show you the difference in our might. And like you just see like this like wolf-like personification type shit, right? And he's just like, I'll show you the difference between me and you. And I mean, put that dude into the ground deviously. Without even thinking about it, dude's like clothes and shit is ripped. And like he's behind him. And like he's behind Deku, right? And he's like, I saw this off of a TV show. Galactic God. And right, so he does that. And then Deku's like, Peace Summary can hear it. So he's like, I told you not to use your quirk, but don't worry. I think this would be a good exception to the rule. Wolf's howl. Hell yeah! It would just sound basically like that shit, right? And then it would clash. He's like, he basically got a gun. And he's like, full power! Boom, Deku. He said full power, didn't he? And right now, classical music would be playing. You could think of whatever symphony that comes to mind, but classical music would be playing as Deku smacks back the key blast. And then homie's like low-key panicking, bro. Adrenaline's going. He's shooting out all sorts of like blasts. It's like he's scared, bro. It's like being chased by an Octane in Apex, or it's like playing hide and go seek on some Call of Duty on some shit, right, fool? Like dead ass. Okay. So it's literally fear. And he's like, he's throwing out all sorts of like, and then Deku's just walking. And then he's just there, menacing looking at him. Stronger than me? Really? That's what we think? And then just starts beating on this nigga, bro. Classical music in the background. Bam! Boom, 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 back foot, boom. Basically, it's dirty because he's doing the moves that he's trying to perfect. And so he's just hitting him with all this shit, bro. He does like he runs at him, does a back foot, boom, boom. Nigga hits the ground so damn hard, hit the sand so hard that he bounces back up. Deku just clotheslines this nigga. He's flipping in there and just start dogging on this nigga. Boom, hit him with kicks, boom, boom, boom. Hit him with punches, boom, boom, boom. Nigga cocks his hand and he started doing some weird shit. Woof. Impact. Boom. As he hits this nigga upwards, that nigga begins to catch his bearings. And like he's about to like try to shoot out another move. And then Deku's like behind him. I'll show you one of my favorite techniques. Because I can use ki too, but it's not something that's inherently. It's something that's taught. He's like, I'll show you the difference from an alpha and a beta. Because of wolves. I don't want none of y'all get funny ideas. Simply put, in this domain, I am the one that rules over. Wolf, fang, fist. Classical music stops. Silence. Screen goes black. Here's wolves howling and you just see Deku. With blood, with some blood on it. Him. Just like P Summer got fucked, bro. He basically just falls down. And then he like, Deku just. And it releases all that like, you know, killing intent and shit that he had. Looks over at P Summary. I've made mistakes in my life. I put it on the hoodie and say that I will not make that mistake again. Maybe never. Deku releases slight killing intent. Never again, never again. And then so yeah, All Might would be in the bushes on some creeping Tom, peeping Tom type shit, right? But no slice, no dice. That's where we're gonna end up part 3 of what if Deku was the realest nigga out there. Nah, what if Deku was raised by wolves?